Now, time to move on to a Hollywood rant. So, word is out on the street that Warner Brothers is putting together a Game of Thrones movie. It is in early development, which means they have nobody attached to it. It's just word that the idea has been passed. Basically, they have the IP for Game of Thrones, and they're going for it. Because, I mean, we already have House of Dragon. There was another prequel series coming out called A Night of the Seven Dragons that was going to be coming out next year. Batman had the Penguin. Lord of the Rings has Ring of Power and other things coming out from it. Dune has the Dune franchise, the Dunening. It just seems like, hey, if they got IP and are able to make a ton of crap out of it, it's the new Star Wars, basically. They're doing what they're doing, what Disney's doing with Star Wars seems to be Warner Brothers and HBO is doing with any other franchise you love. Dune, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. If they have the IP for it, they're milking it, baby. Turning into series and movies and series and everything happening.
What's wrong with that?
Well, ask Star Wars fans how they feel about it. Ask Lord of the Rings fans how they feel about it currently. I don't hear a whole lot of Dune fans out there. I think it's just people that liked the thing, but they never really got into it, or it's not like, I don't know. I think it was ever as deep as the other ones were.
Because Dune's Prophecy hasn't premiered yet. So.
Because there hasn't been a Dune 3. And let me just say, Dune 2 had a lot of wanting. That was a bridge movie to 3, and 3 is really going to have to ramp that thing back up. Yeah, I said it. Okay, you can't have Dune 1. Here's all the problems. Be afraid. Dune 2. Forget them. They're small problems now. Moving on to the next problem. And that was literally what Dune 2 was. Don't make me fear sandworms and then be like, now there are cars. And then you're like, what? Okay, cool. It's just, I don't know. It was pretty. It's a pretty movie. But, yeah. So hopefully...
I'm not willing to take on the viewers and the commenters on that one.
Meet me in the comments section, cowards.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand down. Personally.
I mean, look, I'll say, I think we both agree because we're the ones reviewing it of the Penguin. Wonderful how there's a continuation of the series of the franchise. Rings of Power, I'm having fun with them.
I'm literally not even touching that one because I like my neck. But look, what I will say,
we're talking about movies and franchises. We ain't going after Swifties, okay? This ain't going to be death. No one's fighting to the death for Dune or House of the Dragon.
What I will say about Warner Brothers trying to exploit all the IP that they have the ownership and rights and the license to, they are a business. And that is exactly what they are supposed to do. And I do not wrong them for it. Where I will wrong them for is if they give the rights to these massive fan favorite franchises to people, to showrunners, to writers, to directors that don't pay homage, honor, keep the lore, or just execute it poorly and disappoint millions of fans. You know, if they're going to do it, have respect for it. If they're going to do it well. Or else just don't do it, regardless if you have the rights to it or not. It's like the Blade movie like the Blade 3 being shelved. It's just like, why hype us up to only disappoint the hell out of us later?
Yeah, why have the new Blade and have a fantastic actor be strung along this for a couple of years to just shelve it and ditch it? And you're like, well, what was the initial plan? It didn't seem like a hard plan to begin with, and then you delayed it. And same thing with the Star Wars franchise. Some of them were hits, some of them were misses. And it was pretty obvious what the misses were and where they were going to be. Anybody could have told you that. You know what? If you're going to continue the series, continue the IP, either continue the story, do a little pre-story that favors the main story, not just like, wait, that actually doesn't make sense because it doesn't follow that. It has to, be a little seamless, or extends it. It's like, hey, here's new characters in this world. Here's new situations in this world, because it's a whole world. It doesn't have to be everything centered around one particular people or thing, whatever. That works. But sometimes it don't.
Or you can,
So
or you can do like the Penguin does and be like, this is a new aspect. This is a new take on this world, and make it work.
make it work. Like
Work. No,
Tim
I mean,
Gunn
honestly, acolyte. That's what we're talking about, y'all. That's the show we're talking about. It
and Book
didn't
of Boba
work.
Fett, but yes. Yeah.
It didn't work. I mean, it was a great new take on the Star Wars lore. Got the word, but it
Sure.
just didn't work. The Penguin, new take on what it means to be a villain in the DC Gotham world. It works.
Mhm.
Time Warner, if you're going to do this with, what is it? Not game. Is it Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
If you're going to do this with the Game of Thrones, we all know what the Game of Thrones were to people. We all know what that last season, specifically what that last episode did to people, because we were all, if you did not read the books Game of Thrones, you watched the series. And if you didn't watch the series for like 2 or 3 years, you somehow fell down that rabbit hole. And you once you fell down that rabbit hole, you were there. This is a franchise that means something to people. So if you're going to do it, wherever you decide to take it, whether it's like you said, Jared, where you're continuing the same story, you're doing a prequel of the story, or you're doing a new take on the lore, just do it well. Because
Yeah.
there's millions of people who depend on this shit for their entertainment. And we want to like it.
And that takes us back to the Hollywood Reporter article where they mentioned that the original creators for the Lord of the Rings, I mean, obviously not George R.R. Martin, but for the series, they wanted the series to end in a movie or a couple movies. So it's like, hey, this would just work better if we could just do this in one continuous medium for like 2 hours or a couple movies or 2 hours. And they were like, nah, keep milking it, bro. And we know what happened. Okay. And I haven't finished what was it? Oh my God. We were just talking about it. No, House of Dragon. I haven't finished the second season of House of Dragon yet. I'm going to guess there are dragons. And I haven't finished watching the second season of Rings of Power, hoping it gets better. It's getting a little flat, but you know what? I like it. It's fun. It gives me it's a micro dose of the world that I like. I like the Lord of the Rings world. I like the Game of Thrones world. And these are not, I mean, do these hit as hard as the original series did? No. But they're giving me a nice little microdose to keep me going, because the world sucks right now for everybody, and we need good quality entertainment more than anything.
Oh,
And that's what
wow.
we deserve, Warner Brothers.
You
And
just
just don't
remind
let us down like
me.
Disney has. I love you, Disney, but come on.
Wow, Jared, seriously, the world sucks for everybody just a little bit right now? Like, is there no one happy out there?
Studio execs.
The ones who still have their jobs.
Yeah. I mean, there's like every studio, there's a lot of shuffling around, a lot of overhead moving around. Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna run to the theaters to see a Game of Thrones movie. But I did buy into House of Dragons, and I'm happy that I did.
Yo, I'm hoping HBO gives us that movie. I'm not gonna go to theaters for an HBO movie. I'm like, no, give it to me on my streaming thing.
There's that. There's that,
Yeah.
number one. But I mean, I'm happy about this movie that they're planning to do. But I'm just me. I don't know about a lot of people out there, but I'm just used to seeing the House of Dragons in like a series format. I don't
Yeah.
know
And
how my brain-
hourly injunctions.
yeah, I don't know how my brain is gonna like. Well, you called it microdosing, but I'm just saying I don't know how my brain if my brain is gonna flip to seeing a 2 hour movie of it, and then that's it. I'm used to the
Yeah.
saga.
I'm
Maybe
used to seeing credits and then an option saying, "Hey, the next one's coming up in a few seconds. You need to pee."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's what I'm used to.
Yeah, and maybe it'll be like one of those gladiator things where you're just like, "What is this movie ever gonna end?"
Just keeps going.
So,
So,
I
yeah.
mean, they don't have to do much to make it sell. The framework is already there. Just follow along.
Yeah, the sandbox is. I mean, no, granted, we're all still waiting. Those of us who are fans of the books, I read it so long ago, I need to reread them. But we're still waiting for George R.R. Martin to finish the goddamn book. So we're still open for that, and I think they're just piggybacking and saying like, "Hey, since it's an open, since nobody really knows how it's going to end, let's tell some stories."
Do we know if he has writing credits on this at all?
I don't know.
I hope he does.
Still, that's an unknown.
Yeah.
Unknown in this article. So
God knows if he becomes the Planet of the Apes.
Or it just keeps going.
No.
Just milked to death. Yep.
Blah.
But we'll see. Let us know what you think. Which franchises are you excited about? Are you kind of sick of? Let us know in the chat, because why not? Let's dance with this devil. You know, how you feeling about the Star Wars franchise, Lord of the Rings, what do we have? Game of Thrones, the Batman Penguin, the Dunans. Well, let's, all these franchises out there, some for everybody.
Has the new episode of Penguin come out yet?
It came out 20 minutes ago, since we've been recording this podcast.
Ew.
So, by the way, if you haven't been keeping track with us, we've been reviewing every episode of the Penguin, and we only have 2 left. Was it number 7? Just came out, just dropped 20 minutes ago as we're recording this. So we're not able to review that yet, but stay tuned for that one, baby.
I think we should have a party for the season finish.
We should. We should have a Penguin party.
Yeah, we really.
I got a top hat for that.
I'm sure you do.
I'll go with classic Penguin.
You've carved pumpkins for Halloween, so I'm sure you have a top hat for that.
Oh yeah, which I hope the producers please use my pictures to show my jack-o'-lantern game. If you ever want to put that up there, because I love me carving me some jack-o'-lanterns, and I still have one left. I have a pumpkin left. I didn't get time to do for Halloween, so
I have long velvet gloves, so that can be my contribution to the Penguin party. You could just kind of do it.
Oh, a Sophia angle. I like it. Mm-hmm. See, I was gonna dress as Sophia, and I thought you were gonna be the. I guess I'll be Penguin, and then you'll be Sophia.
Okay.
So
it's okay.
We'll figure it out.
You got the accent down. I got the gloves.
This is what it's like. This is what it's like working with me. Is that what you think? Like, love it.
Is that really what you're saying, Ons?
No, you gotta get the scary eyes.
Did you think I came here to hear that, Ons?
Okay, there it is. Yeah, I got that at the end. I got that at the end. Love it. While you're down there in the comment section, hit that like and subscribe while you're there. I think that's all we got for tonight. I think you and I got things to do, and that's sleep and get ready for the next day, baby.